Thank you for coming on the podcast. It's
Thank
nice to finally meet you.
Same here.
Would you mind introducing you, sorry, not us.
Sure.
My bad.
Right. So my name is Jean Claude Atipo. I'm popularly known on social media as all of JC. My
Okay.
friends call me JC.
JC.
I'm a chef, a content creator, a videographer, photographer, drone pilot. I'm a lot of things.
Wow,
right?
drone pilot
Yeah.
and a chef.
I have close to 200,000 followers across platforms.
Okay, which platforms are those?
So TikTok, I have 122,000 followers.
Okay.
On Instagram, I have close to 80,000 followers.
So that's 200K
Yeah.
across board.
Yeah, across board, yeah.
Snapchat or nothing?
I have Snapchat, but I rarely
Barely,
post here.
okay. All right. So can we start with a few icebreakers? For example, what exactly is your background? Which one do you prefer to be known as, a chef or a content creator?
A chef.
A chef,
Yeah.
okay. So before, did you go to culinary school?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
This is all self-taught. I find making food fascinating, right?
Okay.
Right from, I mean, this wasn't planned. I had no plans of becoming a chef, right? But then it's something that I've loved right from a young age, right?
Okay.
I'm an introvert and I stay home a lot of the times, and I used to spend a lot of time with my mom in the kitchen.
Okay.
So anytime she goes to the market, she comes back, I'm trying to find out what's in the bag, what does this do when she's cooking. I'm watching, I'm observing. I watch a lot of cooking shows, and I love the whole process of doing that,
Okay.
right? But then it wasn't planned. I had no aspirations of being a chef, of creating content, nothing. I have a background in design. Studied, I have a degree in communication design
Okay.
from KNUST. I completed in 2017. Yeah, and I did it professionally for 1 year. Worked with Brandmeister Cafe Soupe.
Wait, you worked with Brandmeister?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting because
Yeah.
he's been here. We're work colleagues,
Right.
and I've known him like my whole entire life. We kind of grew up together.
Right.
So I can't even remember what I didn't know. Kafui. And
Yeah.
he's been on this podcast as well.
Okay.
I mean, it's interesting. It's a
Yeah.
small world.
I know, right?
So you went from Brandmeister to
So I went from Brandmeister to working for myself. Yeah, I did a lot of freelance. So the plan leaving Brandmeister was to go to school, right, and then start something on my own. But then that changed, and I think COVID happened, right?
Okay.
And because I was a videographer, I used to shoot for a chef,
yes.
right? Bishville. I used to
Okay.
shoot for Bishville. And anytime I'm on set with him, I keep asking questions, how do you do this, how do you do that? And I mean, I love cooking, I love food, so the whole process was fascinating for me. And because it was lockdown, we were at home, nothing doing,
Yeah.
I used to pick up my camera and then create content. But when I started, it was just photos. So I create the content and I take pictures and post it online, yeah. So that's how I started.
Because I think I noticed your TikTok during lockdown times.
Right.
So that's like, is it 2020 or 21?
I think it was 2020, yeah.
2020. Yeah, that's when I noticed your content on TikTok. So you film and edit all your videos and then do the cooking.
Yes,
So you're like a one-man production house.
exactly.
Right. Wow.
Ué.
Open up. You mentioned you love cooking shows. Any of them come to mind? What are your favorites?
So Hell's Kitchen, Gordon
Okay.
Ramsay. There's this one on Netflix, Salt, Fire, and I forgot it. Yeah, but there's a couple of them but Hell's Kitchen is the one I used to
You
watch.
use
Yeah.
it? Okay, all right,
Yeah.
perfect. So where do you find inspiration? Do you look outside your craft
I get my inspiration from music.
for music? Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of music? What kind of genre?
No genre, right?
Yeah.
It's just vibes, right? So
Okay.
any beat that makes sense,
I
right?
see.
I start to just picture the whole process in my mind. So like other creators online who have like a whole content strategy and then like a timeline and all of that. I don't have any of that.
You just go with the flow.
Yeah, so I just put on my headset, then the music starts blasting. I like to listen to music high volume.
Okay.
And so in that state, I kind of go into like a trance type thing and start to get ideas. So not just the cooking, but then the camera angles and everything starts to visualize in my mind.
But it takes a long time for you to cook, film, and edit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It does.
It does. It does.
Okay.
Especially because I do not have like a structure that I follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so how long, so professionally you've been cooking for like 2 years?
Yeah.
I see you have is it a new catering service or private catering service?
Private catering.
Okay, how long has that been?
Well, I started that just this year.
Just this year, okay.
Mm,
How's the patronage so far?
So I'm getting a lot of requests.
Oh, nice.
I target high because I'm trying to find the right clients, and I'm trying to give some type of service, right? I mean, because there's a lot of people on the market. Everybody's doing this, but then I'm trying to give a particular service, trying to find a niche, a type of audience that I want to give this service to. Because I mean, people call and it's quite high. It's this. I'm like, that's the same. I mean, because you're not just paying for the food, you're paying for the experience.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the little I know about food is it's all about ingredients.
Exactly.
And in order to bring out the flavors, you have to source the best ingredients possible.
True.
That makes the cost significantly higher than other people who cook on it. For example, if you're baking, you have the choice to either use butter or margarine.
Yeah.
Obviously, margarine is a cheaper option, but then the flavor wouldn't be the same as using butter, for example.
So like a typical example is like me going to the supermarket and it's just I'll buy a Waitrose over a regular Borges, right? Olive oil, right? Just because I'm trying to give my clients good products, good service as well.
And more flavorful experience
exactly,
as well.
yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
And sometimes people always just packaging, but then the taste is different. So like I buy my meat from Butcher Boys and Cantonment, and this is South African cuts, steak and pork and lamb. So
speaking of cuts, man, what do you think of Wagyu beef?
It's the best.
You don't think it's just trend setting? Like everybody's
so this
Wagyu marbled beef, marbled steak.
I'll even give you. Let's just come down, right, to even Tolo beef. How does Tolo beef taste?
It's salty.
Salty, but then like the fat content in it tastes great, right?
And it's easy to cook because of the fat.
The same thing with steak and then Wagyu. There's a lot of marbling in there, and the marbling is the fat when it renders in your mouth, like when you bite into it and melts in your mouth. That's what brings the taste, and that's what makes the difference between a regular steak and a Wagyu steak.
But you know, there are studies saying that the irregular fat content is not healthy per se.
Oh,
studies are gonna say what studies are gonna say. Okay. So, what's your favorite meal to cook? Are you what's your favorite? Are you a breakfast person? Are you
No, I'm not a
lunch?
breakfast.
You're a dinner person.
I'm more a lunch person.
A lunch person.
Yeah.
So that's your favorite meal to cook for the day. Lunch.
I'm more a lunch person.
Okay. Do you have a favorite food, for example?
I'd say pasta.
Pasta is your favorite.
So any type of pasta, from like a seafood to a creamy Alfredo to like a regular noodle.
Okay, that's your favorite.
Yeah.
Favorite cuisine worldwide?
I'll go with the French.
French.
Yeah.
Ooh. Why French though?
I'll go with the French because, I mean, I think French cuisine is like the basis of culinary arts, right? I know people are going to come for me for this.
Arguably. Stay with the caveat. It's well thought, or it's well argued. The French, stay with the caveat.
Yeah, and I mean, I love the whole bit of the butter. French use a lot of butter. And butter makes everything great, from pasta to steak. When you use a lot of butter in there, amazing. Mashed potatoes kills it.
Okay. So if there was one meal you could cook to save your life, what would it be?
Maybe a pasta dish.
What kind of pasta dish?
So a simple what's it called? Alfredo.
Alfredo.
Yeah, simple Alfredo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you do that to save your life. You went jail.
Because I mean, making that or even an alioli is really like straight to the point, and you can do that within like 30 minutes. Yeah.
I'm not a big pasta person. I mean, I could eat it, but I'm not. I'll barely go out to a restaurant unless I want to feel very fancy. Like I feel like pasta is for fancy people, unless I want to feel.
Well,
you are fancy, so let's start with that. So 200K on social media. What's been the biggest shock for you or surprise on social media for you?
The biggest shock, I think, is when I hit like 1 million views on TikTok.
Oh,
right? Because I wasn't paying attention to it, like, because the whole thing about my coming on like social media, and even Bernard will tell you, Kafi will tell you that it was like up to today. If somebody told him that I was going to go on social media and do all of this, you tell the person that I'm lying.
Yeah, big ass introvert.
Very, very introverted. So the whole coming online wasn't for a purpose to get following or to. It was just me trying to share what I love online, right? So when I hit 1 million views, and that was just Omuto. I did an Omuto content, and I didn't expect it to even surpass like even 1,000 views, right? And like one day I just opened those. I think somebody sent me a message that, oh, you've hit 1 million views on your post, and since then it's been growing,
But then that's the power of social media as well, and why we shouldn't overthink the stuff we put out there.
Exactly.
Because for me, for example, sometimes the content you think people would really like, that's not what they like. The one that you don't even like put much thought into editing, none of that. You put it out there and people like
it flies.
And then it's surprising, it's like, oh, I put so much effort into this.
True.
This shit now, this isn't working, but then, you know, this other one that I did that I didn't expect it, now it's going viral. Exactly. How does that happen?
So it even happens with me. So like with the content that I create just from like vibes, me listening to music, those ones, they move. But there are some of them that I sit down and think, oh, I want to do this on, but they don't even like get anywhere. I
feel like people like to associate a person with personality. Because if it's just like perfect clean, it's like, are you a robot? Do you have feelings? But when you put your personality out there, then people resonate with that.
Exactly.
So how you handling the new price of fame? Because 200K people follow you. That's like your own little island.
Yeah. Sometimes like you walk and then someone like, I know you, and then it doesn't hit me that it's because of social media. Like, then I'm like, oh yes, because of this. Then I'm like, hi, nice to meet you, and all of that. I'm still growing into it. I don't think I'm famous.
Oh no, you are famous. I've seen your. I've been into your comments, and I like sometimes I just.
Oh yeah, the comment section. The comment section goes crazy sometimes.
Half of them are women. I'm not gonna lie.
So
you're like
if you check my stats, I think my stats is I think it's 89% women, and then the rest is men.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are some of the? Have you seen any shocking comments?
Or like, marry me. Would you marry me? Are you single? Like I get a lot of those in my DMs. Yeah.
Well, to tell the people want to know. Let's start
I
with
like to keep my life private.
No. They want to know. They've been asking, and now I have the time.
Even coming here, that was like one thing I kept telling myself that no matter how much you push me, I'm not going to say that.
No, I can put forget about it. So okay, so those are the kind of comments.
Yeah. I think it's good. It's also good for the brand because so people want to know, people don't want to know, people are trying to figure it out.
No, but there's not to cut you short, but there's this. I was listening to this podcast by Gary Vee, and he was like, he's the most public, private, social media person you'd know. Mm-hmm. You only put stuff out there that you want people to know. Yeah. There's some things which are sacrosanct that you have to keep to yourself.
Right.
You can't just live your whole life on social media.
Exactly.
That's when it becomes toxic.
Yeah.
Because it's like every single thing, and then that's when social media becomes addictive. Because it's a tool. Mm-hmm. You don't use a tool 24 hours. You wouldn't use a hammer all day long.
Right.
You use it for a time period, tuck it away. Mm-hmm. But if you live all your life on social media, then it's fine to keep certain things hidden or private. That's it. But I'm sure the ladies still want to know.
Yeah.
So, have you had any trolls on social media?
Yeah. It's a very sensitive bit. Especially from Nigeria, right?
Oh, okay.
Nigerians are really straightforward.
Yes,
right?
they're blunt.
Yes. So, and me, like I said, I do this because of the passion of it, right? Mm-hmm. So, sometimes you see the comments and it's like, phew, this is really, right?
Somebody comment on your technique?
Yeah, like I think I did. I think it was Kuntumri, right? Like the album style, like the one in the earthenware.
Yeah.
And somebody came and was like, "What's this nasty thing you're doing?" Like,
it's food. Why can't we appreciate everybody's food? One thing might not taste good to you or might not look visually appealing, but it's my culture, and food is culture.
True. I have a similar experience with one of my very recent content when I posted the Gary photo content. Mm-hmm. That content has been doing really well. Yeah. I think it's been making me close to like 500 followers in a day.
Oh wow!
Like since I took the break.
Can I borrow some of your followers?
Sure. Since I took the break from December and came back in January, like my account was like 1 month. Nothing else happening. So when I posted that video, right? Gary is like across. It's not just Ghana.
Yes, it is.
So I started having like comments from, then again, Nigerian brothers and sisters, talking about the fact that this is not how Gary is supposed to be eating. Gary is supposed to be eating just with water and then sugar and granules, like saying a whole lot of things. And I have followers coming to fight for me, like talking about that. You can't come and then claim Gary to be yours, right?
No,
people have this in their culture as well. So you might as well just say, oh, this is how we also do it. Not saying that this is not the right way to do it.
Because Gary's from cassava, and that would grow in any tropical region.
Exactly.
I think South America has lots of cassava fields. Manioc, they call it. I think even it might grow in Southeast Asia. I stand to be corrected, but I think Thailand and stuff. But it's crazy. Culture is diverse.
True.
So when you choose a pick, what kind of culture and cuisine to focus on, I feel it makes you a bit one-boxed. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I don't have a favorite meal.
Right.
Because I'm like, there's so many meals I haven't tried.
Yeah.
How do I confine myself
into one? Yeah.
And say that this is my favorite meal?
Exactly.
I try something else. I'm like, oh, shit, this feels good. Mm-hmm. I might as well try this.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite meal?
I do. That's fufu.
Fufu, favorite local meal.
Yeah, my favorite local meal, right?
Fufu with
palm nut soup.
Palm nut soup.
Yeah.
Oh,
I always get that anytime I say that. Yeah, but that's my favorite local food. But yes, I love to try like new stuff, unless it's very extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like there's a akokono, they call it. There's this fat worm.
Yeah.
I've still not brought myself to be able to try that.
Oh, if you could try for $1 billion, you wouldn't.
I'll do that.
Content creators always have the hope of getting sponsorship deals. So far, have you had any, with 200K, I'm sure you have like brands reaching out to you
Yeah.
to feature stuff like that.
Yeah, I've had quite a number of them, which is obvious on social media.
Yeah.
I've done stuff for Maggie, I've done stuff for Mbog, I've done
Okay.
stuff for Coca-Cola.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. I have other brands reaching out from South Africa, across the world. I've done stuff for smaller brands as well, like startups in Africa, in Ghana. Yeah.
So how do you pick the ones you want to work with? Is there like a criteria, or you just?
Yeah. Obviously, you don't want to work with every brand. And for me, I'm trying to be as global as possible. So I'm always looking for the big brands. I'm always looking to go across. I recently reached out to a cookware brand in the US. It's called Made in Cookware. And I reached out to them because I already have like a knife from them. It's an amazing knife. Anytime I tell somebody how much the knife costs, it goes crazy. But then I reached out to them, and they decided that they will send me something. Yeah. They said they cannot do like a paid partnership, but then they can do like the affiliate marketing thing. Okay. I get a link. So I recently just got my message saying that the shipment is on its way.
Oh, perfect. I love knives. There's this Japanese Santoku knife set that I've been eyeing. Funny thing is,
Japanese knives are really
they used to make samurai swords, but now that samurais don't exist anymore. They're turning the craft into making kitchenware.
Right.
So I look at this knife, I'm like, this is good for cutting onions and also for stabbing. So the back of my head, I'm like, self-defense or kitchen, one of these. Either way,
it will come in handy.
Either way, or if I find myself in like a street fight in London or something, either way, I know that.
Yeah, protected.
Yeah, so I love knives as well. Just the ease of which some of them slice through. That's perfect. So, what's next for all of JC?
So what's next for me is trying to turn this into like a proper business.
Okay.
Not just creating content, right? The content is still going to happen though, but then I'm looking to go into business now. Like I've started the private dinner service. I'm looking into go into like teaching. I'm also looking to go into digital assets, so creating courses, merchandising, creating products, long-term restaurants, cafes. I like cafes.
You like cafes? So do you feel like you may be a restaurateur one day, start one?
Yeah, definitely.
In the next 5 years?
Yeah,
Definitely. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because coming into this year, I told myself that this is the year to do big stuff. I mean, I've sold myself short for the longest time, and coming into this year, I decided I'm going to put myself out there. Whatever opportunity comes, I'm going to chicken out on it, jump on it.
It can be uncomfortable to put yourself out there, can't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because you're like, I'm an introverted extrovert. Sometimes you dip yourself out there, like, let me come back. Sometimes, but nothing good comes from holding yourself back.
True.
That's the biggest take for me, because the more you hold yourself back, you never know how it's gonna go.
Because for me, it was always the fact that I kept telling myself that I wasn't qualified or I wasn't up to this task.
Yeah.
But then I saw something online, which said that no matter where you are at, like whatever level you are at, there's somebody out there who requires your services, right? So they cannot pay the big brand to do that for them, but they can pay you.
Yeah.
So wherever you are at life, put yourself out there. Somebody's out there looking for you. Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Who? I know you mentioned Gordon Ramsay, but any other chefs you look up to?
Yeah.
We'll start with international and then on the local scene.
So internationally, first is Thomas Keller.
Okay.
Not even Gordon Ramsay.
I have no idea who that is, but
Thomas Keller is anytime I watch Thomas Keller, he's able to break down the whole thing to like the most basic form for me. I discovered him when I subscribed to Masterclass.
Okay.
And guy is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Then there's Gordon Ramsay. There's Massimo Bottura.
I love Massimo.
Yeah, he's so full of.
I think I saw Massimo. There's this Netflix show. Can't remember the name, but it follows. Yeah, Massimo's good as well.
He's you know how the Italians are.
Yes,
just
the passion speak.
Yeah, full of finesse and all of that.
Full of life, and then they do that hand gesture
right.
thing. And then you're like, oh.
Right. Yeah. If you watch his masterclass, it's like it's all about that. Like anytime he tastes food, like has this expression on his face.
They're very expressive.
Yeah.
They're very passionate as well.
True.
Okay, so you're mainly a cuisine chef.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. But you can do a bit of pastries.
A bit of okay. A bit of it.
What is your favorite pastry to make and to eat?
That would be a vanilla panna cotta.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the most challenging pastry?
Making bread.
That's easy, no yeast fermentation.
Yes, but then the whole scientific process of it, you need to be very accurate with the measurements.
That is true.
Your temperature in your room, whatever it is you're doing, needs to be like to the T. Or you mess it up. I created this content. I was making hamburger content, right? And I like to make everything from scratch. So that day I decided to challenge myself to make hamburgers and my buns and everything, my meat, mince it from scratch, right? It took me 10 hours to create that particular content. Because what? I couldn't get a dough to proof to rise.
I see what you mean.
First one, threw that way. Second one.
So don't you think that's why good bread makers are rare?
Yeah.
Like they know each other. Like
Yeah.
if you're a good bread maker, you're rare. Because boulangerie is always a weird field.
It's really very technical, yeah.
What's your favorite bread though?
I mean, I would say tea bread, but I mean, baguette too is really great because I have this starter that I make a bruschetta, and I use a French baguette in making it. Amazing. Yeah.
Well, baguette and tea bread are like brothers, aren't they? They both have the same form.
True.
The texture is different though, but
different.
the form is the same. Okay, all right, nice. So, for those thinking, my cooking isn't up to par, when can I get in? What would you tell them? People who've always wanted to start and have never found the courage in order to do so. What would you say to them?
I'd say just start. Because if you go back to my first post and you go to my most recent post, it's a vast difference, right? You just need to start, right? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to. And then again, you don't need to think about like, oh, how many likes I'm going to get when I post this, how many views. I told somebody the last time, it's taking me close to 5 years to grow this audience, right? I didn't start overnight. I also started with like 2 likes, 3 likes, right? But that wasn't my focus. My focus of doing that was just to show the world what I love to do, right? And if that is your goal, I mean, you should forget about everything else and just keep posting, keep putting it out there. This guy, MKBHD, right?
Yes.
He spoke about how he had posted quite a number of videos, right, before it took off, right? Same thing, Kojo Sheldon. Kojo Sheldon started, and a lot of people used to backlash him online, so his content is not great and all of that. But now, everybody's looking to work with Kojo Sheldon, and he can say, oh, I don't want to work with you or not.
So right? Consistency.
Exactly.
And perseverance. Interesting.
Consistency is key. Showing up every day and posting that content, yeah. Okay. Because as you're doing that, you're learning as well. Because you post today, and yes, if somebody comes and says something bad about it, you try and identify what's wrong with it. The next day you perfect it, you keep perfecting. It's like childbirth. Like they give birth to a child. You're a baby, you try to crawl, then you try to stand, then you fall. Yeah. When you fall, you don't stop.
You keep going.
Yes, and you keep at it until you're a grown man, and then you're walking. So why start today and then stop, right? Keep going, right? Like me, I never thought I'd work with Maggie, and Maggie has made some good money, right? I never thought I'd work with Maggie, and this is just the beginning, right? I coming into this year, I told myself that it's been 5 years, right? And in these 5 years, I wasn't even doing business, like I wasn't working as a business person, I was just doing content, right? And I've been able to achieve this. So now that I say, okay, I want to do this thing seriously and put in the effort and put all of that in there and give myself another 5 years, can imagine where I'll be in the next 5 years, right? So don't be scared. Don't worry about what people are going to say. Just show up and keep doing. Just do, right? Let's, like Nike will say, just do it, right? Just do it.
So Maggie has come. Do you have any coffee or whiskey brands working with you? Because that's where my heart is.
Not yet, but then I've identified a few of them. Yeah.
I mean, when they send you, like client care packages, you know where to send
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely, yeah.
Right,
I mean,
cool.
I'm looking forward to working with a lot of brands this year. And I'm not limiting myself to local. I'm looking outside.
Yeah, because we're in the world is a global village
Yeah.
now, and the internet has made it that way.
Yeah.
It used to, but now your content is consumed all over the world, for example. So
because my second largest audience is in the United States.
your second largest, apart from Ghana.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Ghana, USA. What's the third?
So there's Ghana, there's US, there's Nigeria, there's UK, and I think there's Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So are you, in the near future, we're looking at going over there?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely we want to go out there, do
East
some
Africa,
stuff. Yeah. But then I would love to build here.
First, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Love to build something here and then like spread it across the world.
I think you've become a staple in the social media culinary scene. I mean, like, everybody, have you seen this content? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
People forward it to me. I follow you. I've been following you since the pandemic and lockdown days. So you've become a solid staple. Are we gonna see your stuff on YouTube, or you don't?
Definitely. So that's part of my goals for this year, to do YouTube. I mean, we don't want to cash out on that YouTube money. But
YouTube is like, I feel like it's like the gladiator circles of social media. If you can make it there,
you can make it
anywhere else.
And I've also seen it as though that I've created an audience now on Instagram and TikTok where I can now say, okay, let's move to. So it's like starting a business. But I started in the reverse, right? I created my audience before, now I was okay, I'm doing this, let's go this way, right? Yeah.
But YouTube is more for long form content, so we're gonna see that.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
because like I said, I want to do more teaching now. So,
I see.
Yeah.
So more long form.
Yeah.
More teaching classes, stuff
exactly,
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Because people keep asking why this, why that, why did you put this, why is the reason this? Like, I want to show people what it takes to do this.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
We've had a good conversation.
Yeah.
We've dispelled a lot of rumors, but we still didn't tackle.
They're very sensitive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you married? Are you single? What is going on? But
I mean, you can send me a DM, Yeah.
I'm sure people.
Obviously, I'm not married.
But I'm sure people flood your DMs all the time.
Yeah. I have a lot of messages. I mean, when I started, like I had like 500 plus message requests.
Wow.
Yeah.
Every single day?
Not every. I mean, like the backlog of it. Yeah. Because sometimes, like some of the questions you don't know how to respond to them. Like if somebody says, "Will you marry me?" Are you trying to hurt the person by saying no? Right. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Social media is an interesting place.
Crazy place.
Yeah.
Crazy place. And you have to very
keep it level-headed.
Yeah.
So how do you filter through the messages? How do you know which ones to answer and which ones not to?
Honestly.
Or which one grabs your attention and which doesn't?
And I think the way you send a message, because somebody will come like, "Can I be your friend?" I mean, obviously, you're following me, so you're my friend. And there have been some that I responded to, and they're like, "Can I have your number?" I'm like,
"Why do you want my number?"
Exactly. Like, what are you trying to tell me that you can't tell me here?
Yeah.
Right? So, but there's some people too who come and say something, and okay, this is somebody who wants to know something.
I see.
Respond to the person, right? Other than "Can we be friends?" Like, I get a lot of "Can we be friends?" messages, and like, okay. So, and then you say okay, then they expect you to make convo.
I see.
But I'm not interested in like you wanted to be my friend, right?
You want to talk to your sausages and chickens. And
and it's not like I don't want to be friends with anybody, but it's like what do you want to know? Like, ask and start the convo. Because
Go straight
I
to
can
the point.
I can start the convo, but then like you wanted to be friends, right? So talk. You say, my name is.
People like to make small talk, feel like it's part of breaking the ice.
Yeah.
But if you're like me, you like to go straight to the point.
Yeah.
You know.
Because like, what do you want? Do you want to be my girlfriend or?
No, it's a Ghanaian thing, because like sometimes people send you a message, good afternoon. They're waiting for you to also say good afternoon.
Yeah. That's what the good
Before-
afternoons I get a lot of.
Even before that, I get like even like good afternoon, how are you? You answer, they're expecting you to also say it back to them. I'm like, so what is the ask?
Yeah.
Where are we
Just
going with
yeah.
this? You know. Well, thanks for coming by again.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.